coverage now of breaking news as Fox reports live tonight an absolute disaster in the heartland of America. We are watching for the search for survivors in Moore, Oklahoma, where during Studio B this afternoon an enormous tornado cut a path of destruction across that city. These are live pictures coming into us from Moore now that show the devastation after this storm. Homes and businesses and at least 2 elementary schools badly damaged or destroyed. We do not yet know exactly how many people are hurt or dead. A local CBS news station reports that all kids are now accounted for in one of 2 elementary schools that were hit, Briarwood Elementary. We have not yet confirmed that. But we're now hearing that rescuers have pulled several children alive from the rubble at Plaza Towers Elementary. We do not yet know what sort of injuries they have, except what you have heard in the last hour. Witnesses say the tornado was a mile or up to 2 miles wide in some areas. The National Weather Service reports this storm is this tornado at least an EF5 on the scale that meteorologists use. That's the second highest level, and it means winds of between 166 and 200 miles per hour. The tornado was on the ground for at least 45 minutes. There were warnings 16 minutes before the tornado hit Moore, Oklahoma. 16 minutes in advance, they got a warning, a tornado warning that a tornado was on the ground and headed for them. We do not yet know how many countless lives that saved, but it's always a question of how many took them seriously and took shelter. Volunteers and first responders are on the ground in Moore looking for anybody who may still be trapped beneath the debris, listening for any sounds from beneath the buildings, hoping that even with a disaster of this magnitude, like nothing we have seen in many years in this nation, that they will find any neighbors, friends, or family members who may be missing. Jeff Petrowski is a storm chaser who is live near Moore. Jeff, what have you seen?
Jeff, it's been an unbelievable afternoon for Oklahoma and another extreme tornado outbreak. We sat near the Newcastle exit where the tornado started all afternoon, and we were on the storm just southwest of Oklahoma City before the tornado in Oklahoma City. I've got other chasers on the ground in Moore in that area telling me mass casualties and a sense of injuries. I don't know how many fatalities. I cannot tell you how many fatalities, if there's any at this point. And I will tell you, they're telling me it's worse than May 3rd, F5 in 99. It took a very similar track. The same neighborhoods that got hit on May 3rd, 99 are now leveled. I just got off the phone with my chasers there in Moore. We just put a plea out on Facebook and Twitter asking all storm chasers, emergency management people, they can respond to Moore. They go to Moore. There's people still trapped in buildings, under houses and buildings, all over through the Moore area, both in apartment complexes as well as the residential areas. A lot of people are on foot, and there's a lot of people injured, and the hospitals are overflowing with injured, what I've also been told.
Jeff, thank you. We've gotten word from the mayor of Moore that much of the town is destroyed. The hospital is pretty much destroyed, says the mayor, Mayor Lewis, Glenn Lewis. And in addition, there are 2 elementary schools involved here. One, the Plaza Elementary School, where everyone is accounted for, and there's another school, Briar Creek Elementary, which we watched as residents were trying to bring people from underneath the rubble. The school children hid in a bathroom in one case as the tornado swept right over. These are live pictures coming in. It's just 3 minutes past 6 o'clock in the Central Time Zone and in Moore, Oklahoma, and as the photographer pulls out, you can see the path that this storm cut. Our storm chaser mentioned a storm that hit in 1999. That is the bellwether for everybody in this part of the country. It cut a path through Moore and surrounding areas like nothing anyone had ever seen. And the path of this one is similar, though longer, similar, though wider. So this storm is similar, but worse. And that was the storm by which all others were judged. It is as if Hurricane Camille in South Mississippi and Louisiana was originally your hurricane of record. This is the thing to which we point as the worst it can be. That is until Hurricane Katrina came through and changed the landscape entirely. It is our belief that that's what we've had here. Here's the good news. After 1999, the problem was that so many people did not have adequate storm shelters. There was an area-wide push to increase the number of storm shelters. Emergency warning systems were not up to date. There was an area-wide push to do that. And today they got 16 minutes warning, which in Tornado Alley is a long time, that storms are on the way. In Tornado Alley, your family has a plan, if you have any sense at all, of what's going to happen when that siren goes off. And just yesterday, they had severe damage from another storm, so they were paying attention. And hopefully today, many people's lives were saved as a result. KOKH is on scene at one of these elementary schools and live. Listen.
For people to stand back, I imagine, as well. We want to show you some of the photos that we're getting in from you at pics@okcfox.com. So go ahead and continue to send them to us. And here's a picture right here with it looks like a pickup truck.
Kill that audio, please. Thank you. And the rescue efforts are continuing. I-35 has been destroyed across this area and is now closed. And rescue attempts are still underway. Right now, authorities are working to cordon off an area around this entire devastated city so that people cannot get in and out, so that they continue their rescue work. We do have a report from the local CBS station, and a tragic one it is, from KFOR, a fantastic news operation they run there. I can tell you firsthand. 4 people, KFOR reports, are dead in Moore near 4th Street and Telephone Road, a mother and baby included in the count. As the report indicates from the local NBC, I meant to say, they tried to get into a freezer during the tornado, were unable to do so, and all were killed. There's no way for us to know at this moment how devastating this has been in the way of human injury and loss of life. We do know that dozens of people are being treated. We watch triage centers being set up on scene, in some cases without apparently medical personnel available, because frankly they couldn't get in and out of there quickly in the early going. We watched elementary school children being pulled from the rubble that was their school, and we watched residents come to assist. Little children on curbs, wrapped in blankets and towels, waiting for mom and dad to walk there to pick them up. And by the dozens, we're told that's exactly what happened. And as we see this devastation and a bulldozer coming in to try to remove what's there and presumably make sure that no one is still injured, this tornado situation is still very active. There have been warnings all afternoon, and there still are. Janice Dean in our Weather Center. Janice, what do we know?
Well, Shepard, the preliminary reports that we are getting in over this 2-day tornado outbreaks, 37 reports of tornadoes, and the tornado that we have seen the extensive damage from, the Moore, Oklahoma, we think right now is an EF4, but the National Weather Service has to go out and assess the damage. I remember with the Joplin, Missouri tornado 2 years ago, almost to the date, they deemed it an EF4, and then they went out and did the assessment, and then they upped it to an EF5, and this damage is so extensive, so we're really going to have to wait until the National Weather Service goes out and does their final report. 40 minutes on the ground is what we are also hearing from the Storm Prediction Center, Norman, Oklahoma, and as you mentioned, 16 minutes warning from the tornado warning and the sirens going off. And when you look at the enhanced Fujita scale, that's what we go out there, the National Weather Service goes out there. We do think the winds were up to 200 miles per hour with this particular storm.
Janice, the Oklahoma governor, Mary Fallin, has deployed 80 Oklahoma National Guard members to assist with the search and rescue operations. She said the troops will also help establish this perimeter that I mentioned around the devastated areas, including Moore. She spoke with the president today, who offered the nation's help and gave a direct line to his office. In addition, the mayor of Oklahoma City nearby, this is a suburb of sorts, Oklahoma City is sending its emergency response resources to this area to help. The Oklahoman, which is the newspaper of record for the area, the headline sums it up this way: Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, sucker punched by second round of twisters, still staggering from yesterday's tornadoes. Oklahomans picked themselves up from the canvas on Monday, only to be hit by a second round of fierce twisters today. This massive one roared through Moore and South Oklahoma City this afternoon, grinding up neighborhoods and ravaging at least one elementary school in its path. Of course, another struck as well. Again, I'm reading from the Oklahoman. Terror quickly spread as emergency medical services authority rushed ambulances to Briarwood Elementary School, one of the 2 we've mentioned in the Moore School District, into several homes, businesses, and intersections, responding to multiple injuries. Parents of these children could be seen rushing to the school, dodging downed power lines and scattered debris. It has been a scene of unbelievable chaos. A girl who attends Briarwood Elementary tells KOKH television the reporter that her school was trashed. There was simply nothing left there. Several children have now been pulled out of the rubble alive in one of these schools at Plaza Towers Elementary School there in Moore after the massive tornado hit. Rescue workers lifted the kids from the rubble before they were passed down a human chain and taken to a triage center set up right there in the parking lot of that devastated school. Again, it's southwest of Oklahoma City. The roof is gone. The walls had fallen or had been mangled. And so many of these students sheltered in place in the halls. These are new pictures that we're just getting in here at Fox News Channel on the right-hand side of your screen, and live pictures that are coming in from the search and rescue operations. I mentioned the storm that hit there in 1999. It was unbelievable devastation. This one, it appears in the early going, according to everyone there, is even worse. The first of these storms happened last night, and they came across like a freight train. This morning in the early going, they were cleaning up, and the National Weather Service began to warn, just as it had the night before, get out now. That's exactly what the warning was last night in one particular town. The storm is coming. Go to a storm shelter or get out of its path immediately. Well, the National Weather Service began with those same warnings today, and the hope is that many people heeded them. Our correspondent Casey Stiegel is in Moore, Oklahoma now. He had been down the line from the storm for our coverage of what happened last night and is now in Moore. Casey, what do you see?
Shepard, I'm at a 7-Eleven gas station, and I just walked up to an Oklahoma City police officer because although this is the city of Moore, obviously first responders from all over the state have come in. So an Oklahoma City police officer has told me that 4 people have died at the 7-Eleven where I'm standing now. It is a scene of chaos. I can't even describe it. I'm looking all around me, Shepard, and I see people digging through rubble. People are throwing debris up in the air, trying to reach people. It's almost as if people are sort of walking around in disbelief. It's almost like this just happened, and people are in this state of shock. The Oklahoma City Police Department can't give me any specifics about the fatalities at this 7-Eleven where we are, but we're desperately working to try and establish our satellite connection to bring you live pictures out of here just as soon as we can from the ground, Shepard.
We'll look forward to that and others that you have witnessed there, Casey. The Oklahoma City governor has just said that the communications is the biggest problem. Governor Fallin said the scope of the disaster is so great that state officials need more time to even open lines of communications with rescuers. As a result of this, Governor Fallin has not been able to receive the reports that we have now confirmed of these fatalities. 4 that you mentioned there at the 7-Eleven, 4 more in a home, as reported by KFOR television in Oklahoma City. She said that the governor says the landlines are down in the Moore area, and so many people are using their mobile phones that cell lines are congested, and in many cases the cell lines are down. Major damage as this huge storm rips through neighborhoods south of Oklahoma City. Now they're estimating it at 2 miles wide as it ripped through areas south of Moore. Initial reports from KFOR, NBC station there, at least 4 people killed, and then now this report of 4 more at the 7-Eleven. Sadly, we believe that the news will get worse before it gets better. The choppers are in the air. Our correspondents are on the ground. This is breaking news coverage on Fox News Channel. We'll be right back.